United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. We'll have a very short prayer. Lord, be with all those shooting victims and be with their families in these times of trouble. In Son's name, amen. Minutes to the previous meeting been reviewed.
I make a motion we accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second that, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
Received since last meeting, $50 from zoning permits, $42.90 from building, $6 from right to know request, $9.25 from zoning ordinance request, $197 went to code inspections, $270.62 was accrued in the interest of PLGIT. Investment interest was $26.76. I closed the Wayne General account. I transferred the small amount of money that was in there to investment account. And I handed the monthly budget for August.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other reports, Roadmaster.
In the last couple of weeks, we've had some washouts up on Fire Tower Road in a couple different locations due to the fact that these heavy rains, we do get them. We've been working on some drainage problems on Moon Valley Road. All of our roads have been mowed at least once. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go back and start remowing them all again. Yeah, the shoulders. So.
No, we don't mow in front of your house because it's a state road. Sorry.
One of the highway guys has been on vacation for the last couple of weeks. The other, our two part-timers have been doing odds and ends on this. And had some real hot days, so they haven't been working all day either, so.
Thank you. Zoning.
This is for part of June and July. I got 3 deck permits were issued, 1 in-ground pool, 1 screen porch, 1 12 by 24 shed, and 1 24 by 24 detached garage. I sent a notice of violation to the owners of Key Foods regarding the dumpster in the back. It has been leaking. Gary is going to keep me informed. He sees it more than I do with going through there, and I monitored it for a straight week. There was 2 garbage bags sitting, actually 3 garbage bags sitting outside of the dumpster on the ground, and 7 to 10 days later there was 3 garbage, same exact bags were still sitting there. So I told them they had to get a leak-proof dumpster in there, and they had to wash the area down, they had to contain the water, and they had to remove it from the site and continue with a leak-proof dumpster in there from this point on so that the residents are not subject to what's been going on down there.
What the?
Garbage. They put the food waste in the compactor and then push it through, and it just, the dumpster can't hold it, so it just leaks out.
That,
So
they're not using that compactor now.
I just saw it's gone, there's 2 regular dumpsters
2
there.
regular dumpsters there.
So I'm waiting to see if they took the one away to clean it and bring it back, or if they're going to bring it back. But I haven't,
They've been there since Friday.
okay, I haven't received a response to what I sent out yet.
Thank you, John.
That was the first thing. Second thing, I got a complaint about 3 vehicles, what they claim were abandoned junk vehicles parked on the property. And when I went up there, 2 of the vehicles are in really good shape, and the other one looks like a vehicle that can be used for parts. And I know that I was informed today of some recent case law that you can't consider it an abandoned vehicle if you can actually utilize parts off of it. So I'll be answering the complaint about that one.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Public comment period number 1. Any public comment? Anybody? Yes, Rachel.
Hendricks, my acres, I wanted to follow up on the request for Mr. Magnato to do the opinion on whether or not enacting the zoning change subject to the sewage now can be used to force the town to do the sewage. I know that you all voted to have him do that opinion, and I just wanted to follow up and see if it had come in.
Yeah, I did issue an opinion to the board.
Is that going to be available to the public, or?
Probably not, no, it would be a legal opinion, but I can tell you that the current ordinance that we presently have, as all zoning ordinances do, also are based upon sewage potential, not necessarily having sewage, but sewage potential. What I mean by that is that all zoning ordinances have provisions in them which would allow for someone to use a lesser amount of area if they were to have a central sewage system. Our usual acreage is 2 acres. It's reduced to 1 acre if you have central sewer. It's reduced even further if you have central sewer and central water. So based on that and based upon some other experiences that I cited in my letter, I indicated that I didn't believe that the simple fact of having the ordinance amendment subject to central sewage system being placed upon that particular zone would in and of itself be detrimental to adopting the ordinance.
Okay. It does create the but-for that we talked about at the last meeting with the potential for a TIF district.
Yes.
So I told you all that I was going to give you some more information about a TIF
Oh, I
district.
printed it out.
Yeah,
Did you
actually,
get this one?
I didn't get this one. But I
This
have
is
one
a
about
study
the
from the Lincoln Land Institute that talks about the effects of a TIF district.
thank you, Rachel.
And it talks about, it's impartial as compared to a lot of the material that comes out on a TIF district that is specific. I have a few extras if anybody would like some. A lot of the material that comes out from economic development groups.
Thank you.
And it's geared toward being able to implement the TIF district. So this is a third-party independent. Lincoln Land Institute is in the Chicago region. They have over 300 TIF districts in that region. So they talk about what is the effect also on the rest of the property values, and does it generate the positive effect that it's supposed to. It also talks about the impact to the taxing bodies that, other than the town, lose that tax revenue. So just a tool for you to take a look and learn some more about this tool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Anybody else under public comment? Anybody else? No? Correspondence?
A thank you letter from Marcia Guberman for supporting the 5th annual Pocono Foxtrot 5K for Parkinson's research. She informs that they are a registered 501c3 not-for-profit organization and asks to remember them at the end of the year when you are looking to make additional tax-deductible contributions. Comments from Pike County Office of Community Planning for the Township Zoning Ordinance Amendment Sections 409.2, 409.4, 409.6. From Mr. Solicitor, he asked us to postpone the public hearing to be held on August 19, 2019. Mr. Seacrest, from the president of the chairman of Planning Board, submitted a letter to provide current status and information to the supervisor for this meeting. It is the third quarter situation report to increase the flow of communication between the supervisors and the planning commission. We will submit quarterly situation reports through letter to facilitate your decision-making process. Current activities. The current planning commission has discovered that the previous planning commission did not follow or comply with Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, PMPC. The PMPC sections 207, which is the conduct of business, and 209.1, which is the powers and duties of planning agency, has some minimal requirements. First one, the commission will keep a full record of its business and shall annually make a written report of each year of its activities to the governing body by March 1st. Interim reports may be made as often as may be necessary or as requested by the governing body. The other requirement is prepare the comprehensive plan for the development of the municipality as set forth in this act and present it for the consideration of the governing body. The other requirement is maintain and keep on file records of its action. All records and files of the planning agency shall be in the possession of the governing body. The previous planning commission was not proactive and there is no evidence to support that an annual report was ever accomplished. This lack of documentation and business operations procedures from an allegedly experienced planning commission has been corrected as we have developed a master tracker that can be utilized to comply with the annual report requirement. Some of the items that will be in your annual report for 1st March 2020 include actions taken based on application, permits, type of permits, and status of our comprehensive plan. We are hoping the annual report will provide the supervisors with the information they require to govern the township and make informed decisions. As you know, the current comprehensive plan is required to be reviewed and revised as needed every 10 years. There is no documentation to support if any actions were taken by the last planning commission, so we have developed a timeline and are working on an approach to accomplish revising the plan. For your information, we have tentatively scheduled that a draft will be completed for your review in 2020. Potential issues for supervisor input action. The county has been very inconsistent with their reviews, requiring definitions, clarifications, and providing no input or direction based on PMPC, the planning codes. Upon providing the county with definitions that have been legally reviewed, the county objects to the definitions, which demonstrates a lack of understanding or knowledge. Additionally, the county provided comments of a generic nature on existing ordinance language that is not even being amended. The county reviews do not seem to be based on business acumen, the PMPC, or legal precedents. He gave 2 examples. The first example is the reviews of 1880-01 through 1880-03 for the mixed usage amendment. The review of 1880-01, the county shows that they had no issue with the parcel being divided by 3,000 square feet back in 2018, but requested a clarification as they did not understand the language, but now they are having issues with the revised amendment, even as it incorporates the 1880-01 language to consider limiting the number of multifamily housing per parcel, which was executed to comply with the county. The second example is the Snyder Farm lot consolidation. It was reviewed by the lower level county reviewer, which contradicted the township's approach to facilitating supporting the landowner. The county director was contacted by the landowner, and the director submitted an approval of the approach, and that overrides the lower level review. Number second one is county review format. The county reviews are provided with bullets in lieu of numbering the action issues. We recommend to the county that they revise their process and utilize numbers to expedite the ability to act on comments. Additionally, the county reviews should be in the same order and flow of the document that was submitted for review. The mixed usage amendment review demonstrates that the county reviewer jumped all over the place and did not follow the document. We suggest that the supervisors engage with the director of the Pike County Planning or make a motion, if required, to allow for the Planning Commission to reach out and work on improving the process. Thank you, James Sechrist, Chairman, Planning Commission. This one is Jeffrey McCombs from TC Energy. It's about plan approval application for Milford compressor station. This one is from Jody Menham. She forwarded an email from Mr. Rush. Brian Rush is the contract manager for Samaritan EMS in Pennsylvania. Samaritan provides EMT and paramedic level life support services to several communities. Jody wanted to know if anybody would be interested in meeting with Mr. Rush. I let her know that Gary Clark would be interested in meeting with him. A letter from Mike Cobb. It's for the position of alternate sewage enforcement officer. He wrote, "Dear Supervisors, I would be interested in being appointed as Township Alternate Sewage Enforcement Officer. I have been certified SEO for 12 years and have worked with Bob DiLorenzo for more than 15 years. I appreciate your time in this matter. Michael Kopp." A certificate of liability insurance, it's for M. Spiegel and Sons Oil Corporations. PZATs, it's from David N. Sanko. It's about PZAT's Youth Awards Contest. They are calling upon the member townships to help promote and encourage participation in the contest. And there's a flyer, I'm going to post it outside. This is Liz Torkelson from PCDC. This is a letter to request financial support for the fiscal year 2019-20. This is a flyer for PZAT's Township Legal Defense Partnership. This is also from PZAT's. This one is from Liberty Flags. It's the half-steps notification from August 4th through August 8th in honor of the victims of shootings in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio. August newsletter from Pike County Conservation District. It includes special protection waters. Jay Morrow joins the Conservation District Board. Free clean field notice. And maintaining your on-lot septic system. Linda Husson from Pike County Tax Administration. She sent municipal and county tax estimate for August 1, 2019. The list includes 13 townships and boroughs, total number of taxable parcels, assessed values, township tax, fire tax, debt service, municipal taxes, and the millages. The NEPA annual dinner will be on September 26, 2019. August newsletter from Pike County Area Agency on Aging. Jean Stu from Blooming Grove Fire Department. She sent a flyer for fundraiser Tricky Tray. It will be on Saturday, August 17, 2019 at 5 p.m. Call will be at 7 p.m. A+ on-site computer repair. He sent a raffle for a chance to win a Lenovo Intel 7 laptop valued at $349. That's it.
Thank you, Shawna.
You're welcome.
Under old business, the kennel ordinance, that has to be signed, I take it? You have the paperwork on that?
Yes. The kennel ordinance was previously approved, but needs to be signed. And we need to forward it to the county law library.
So,
Permit.
I'm looking, I'm asking something.
Under zoning, zoning permit necessary for that, under the amendment.
I'm gonna ask him, so I can copy the plans.
There's only one? That's it. Yeah, you signed the other one. Okay, under old business, the zoning amendment, the mixed use, it was sent to Pike County Planning. We got some comments back, which I don't even understand, I don't know if anybody does, but it had talked a lot about old zoning. that needed to be changed, which I don't understand. Do you understand, Mr. Solicitor?
Well, I think that, Mr. Seacrest's letter kind of outlines part of what the frustration is here. Originally, the county approved, after review, the 3,000 square foot
Correct.
per unit. We didn't agree to that. Now that we have a 100 per unit, they've gone back and they've looked at actual sections of the ordinance 4092, 4094, and 4096 that were not being amended and said that they need to be clarified. This was frustrating to the Planning Commission chairman, as you heard in his letter. It's also a bit frustrating in general because just for example, the very first comment is that the term subdivision regulations needs to be changed to subdivision and land development ordinance under 409.4I. That's an existing zoning ordinance section which is not being amended. Yet that's the first comment the county had. The second comment that the county had was 409.6 states a minimum setback of the multifamily structures from such non-residential structures of 200 feet, and the parcel shall be clearly segregated. The comment is it needs to be clarified as to where this measurement will be taken from, i.e. the corner of the buildings, corner of parking areas, or corner of disturbed areas. Once again, section 409.6, as stated above, is an existing zoning ordinance section that is not being amended in the ordinance. It then says to consider increasing the minimum standards for access roads through the development from minor to collective. With the proposed increase in density, the traffic along through the development is going to increase. The proposed amendment should not only address density, it needs to address the other aspects that go along with the project. And that again references 409.4D, which indicates that a multifamily development can only be served by one access from any public highway unless there's a safety need. Again, that's a section of the ordinance that was not amended. So the first four comments from the reviewer are for sections that are existing in our present ordinance. So I think that was some of the frustration that you heard in Mr. Seacrest's letter. However, I would point out to the board that at the end of the Pike County community letter, some of the other frustration, and I might as well say this because it's going to come up at the next planning meeting anyway. The other frustration was that the prior letter had requested two clarifications on definitions. And the two definitions that it requested clarification on were contiguous acreage and mixed use. And Mr. Bowles and I spent considerable time with the Planning Commission going over those and came up with what we thought was an acceptable definition for both, ones that are presently used in other ordinances in Pike County, in at least two other townships. And the comment is the definition for mixed use needs to be simplified. And the other comment is, under the definition of contiguous acreage, the term lands contained within the legal boundaries of any municipality need to be changed to lands contained within the legal boundaries of any adjoining municipality.
Any what?
Any adjoining municipality. So, again, yeah, you'd have to kind of be on the board. I think that's, and again, I don't know what was the mindset of the chairman when he wrote that letter, but clearly he was frustrated. Some of this is a little bit frustrating, and I think that it would be a good idea to maybe authorize the Planning Commission to meet with the...
Well, let's go one step further. They answered every question that was given to them prior on the amendment, never changed the amendment, never changed one word of that amendment. They went over all the 11 points that were given to them by the Pike County Planning. They come up with a 40-page report explaining how they come up with their answers, and now we come up with 14 new things, and a lot of them is zoning that's already been in place for years and years and years. Listen, frustration?
Yeah, no,
Really?
I understand, but my point is, and the reason I sent the letter which Shahana referred to before, requesting that we not advertise the public hearing, was the final paragraph which says that revisions to this amendment are recommended, and revisions must be submitted to and reviewed by our office. So I think until you meet with and discuss this with community planning, that you should probably do that prior to anything else.
Well, I think what we should do is vote and let Mr. Seacrest go up there directly so we can get this thing moving along and find out what's really going on up there and why are they looking at these older ordinances and not the new one,
Yeah,
the mixed use.
one of my favorite comments is in the schedule of district regulations under development standards, the term 65% use per 4.14 needs to be changed to 65% use per 414.4. Clerical error in the right.
All right.
Can I ask
So-
a question? You have reviewed the 40-page support document, and the last 2 pages list county comments and responses to them. And several of them, I think 4 or 5 of them, appeared to be very similar to the first 2 that you just read. So it does sound like those might have been not addressed in a prior round. And the answers that were listed in some of them said, Sean, what do you think about this? Or Sean, could you please validate this? And that's what is labeled across with the watermark as final. So if that's the last thing that was done, then this is not the first time they made those comments, and they just kind of fell through the cracks or something.
I reviewed the comments, they are different from the last time. They are completely different. We have a planning commission, they are completely different this time than they were the last time. We had 11 comments the first time, they reviewed 11. 9 of them, they backed them up by paperwork and said, here you go. Now what we got is 14 more comments. Now you can't get 11 out of the 14 because they got 14. Now you would think out of an ordinance that you sent there that they would have put everything onto one paper and then sent it to here, and then the planning commission reviews it, goes over it, amends it to what they want, sends it back, we're all good to go. No, that's not what happened. What happened was they come back with extras and a lot of stuff which zoning, which is already in place, which had no part in the mixed use.
I'm not arguing that there are some things that are new. I'm saying that in the 40-page document, there was a list in the last 2 pages, and I don't have that copy with me because I haven't been home yet, but it specifically, some of those comments were listed there, because it listed every comment by planning, and then it listed the planning commission's response to those comments. And some of them said things like...
You're correct, Rachel. That's what the last 2 pages say, but the document that was submitted to county planning addressed
All
all of the comments.
It addressed every one of them.
So as a member of the public who asked for the final documentation that was being given to the Board of Supervisors, what do I need to ask for to actually get the final? Because this is labeled final across it, but it apparently is not the final.
No, the amendment that was sent on June 24th is what was sent to planning. You have the one that was sent to planning.
Which has those incomplete answers at the end.
There's
No, but the document out front
Yes,
is
on the
complete.
40-page
It
document.
is complete.
Right, the document out front is complete. They just
I have
sent
it
that as the...
So it's just the comments at the
Background,
end that were
correct.
not updated.
Correct.
So this is why they are frustrated, I'm frustrated, because we've been going on this for, well over a year now, well over a year. Just let's get it moving along. And here we come up on this where we're looking at zoning that's been in place since 1986, and what are you talking about? But, all right, what I'd like to do is we make a motion that James Seacrest, Chairman of the Planning Commission, be allowed to meet with Pike County Planning at his convenience to straighten out whatever this
Discrepancies.
discrepancies are.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. All right, so that will give him the authority to go meet with them at any time, and then the planning commission can review this again
At their next
and
meeting.
at their next meeting, and then they can send it back, okay?
Does that require a postponement of the August?
Yes.
Yes, we did not do that, August 18th, 19th.
Just, again, just so the record is clear here, because I know a lot of people like to keep track of what's going on. The planning commission met on the 23rd of July and recommended approval of the ordinance. The county comments were emailed to the township on July 24th.
Yeah, little discrepancy there, huh? Yeah, so, that's what we're looking at. There's something not quite right here.
There sure isn't.
Yeah, there sure is. There sure is, that's for sure. All right, new business. Resolution for the fee schedule. Now, there's a fee schedule in front of everybody. The only changes that are in this,
Yeah, I have it. I just have one comment. Sean, it's the same comment I made last week. On page 4 at the bottom, the copy I have still says, hearings requiring review by professionals.
I missed that one.
Yep, engineer, solicitor, professional planner. As I indicated in my email, we can't charge a fee for zoning hearings or special exception hearings.
where is that, right here?
Page 4 in the row.
This one, the hearings required, right?
Yeah, right above
Yeah,
it.
you
Okay,
can't
so
charge
cross
your
that
engineer
out.
and solicitor fees for zoning hearings.
So you have to.
You eat those.
Okay, so the only changes in this are technically pretty much yours.
Yeah, zoning,
These,
well-
yours have not been updated since 1987,
Yeah, it went all the way back to 80.
and sewage was updated in 2009.
6 and 9, yep.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody's been updated, this has not been updated, this is very simple. Anybody have any questions? This pertains to 50% permit fees, so the township doesn't end up paying Sean an enormous amount of money in salaries, and what happens is, it comes out of the budget, it actually kills us a little bit. So he gets the permit fees, okay?
In lieu of
50%.
coming
Yeah,
out of the
50%.
budget.
Yeah, there's no
Does anybody have a
insurance,
problem
no
with this?
vacation
No
days,
problem?
nothing included.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept, or make a motion for a resolution for the 2019 fee schedule, except for the hearings requiring review by professionals and any fee over $500 may not be used or refunded to supervisor's discretion.
We can
With
keep
the
that in
exception
there,
of
right?
that.
You can keep the second
Keep the
one in.
second one in.
You can keep that one, and
Right,
it's
it's
attached
the
to the
first
first.
one that
No, no,
has
no,
to
second.
come out. Right.
It's attached to the first though.
Yeah, but
So
if
you
you
want me
guys,
just-
if you guys determine that, if you come in here and have a conditional use hearing that's a half hour long, you want to reduce the fees for the
You have the
applicant, you have the
But we had
option.
the simple way of doing things now. We actually come up with a better way for them not to come in for that, if you remember. Well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we
yeah.
have that in here, like the one right below it. Sorry, not the one right after that. It says any conditional use hearing doesn't
$250.
require anything, it's $250.
Yeah, that's why we changed that, so
You want to
that,
take that out, we can take that out.
the only reason is because if we deem it that it's not gonna use this stenographer, we've done this in the past.
Right.
That we just charge them $250.
Okay.
That we've done on
What's
some.
that?
Yeah, all right, so with those, with that exception,
Hang on.
Hang on, Jerry.
Hang on.
You need, for a conditional use special exception, which would be zoning hearing board, variances, which would be zoning hearing board, stenographer attendance is required. Okay, what I am saying is that you cannot charge for the engineer, solicitor, or planner at those hearings. So it's just the first one that has to come out.
so you recommend leaving the $500 one in there.
Absolutely.
But we still have the $250 one that we actually changed, all right? Well, that's fine by me. Okay, so it will include any fee over $500, not used, may be refunded at the supervisor's discretion. With that, all the rest of the fees, like I said, have already been approved. We're just mainly approving Sean. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. It's very simple. The fees didn't go up. Some of them actually went down because I guess you just don't spend any time on them.
Yeah, I'll get a clean copy for everybody to sign.
I went over them with the original,
Yeah.
and
I'll take
4 of
that
your
myself.
fees took a dive.
Right.
And I thought, okay, this is good. We're going back and forth, so you're actually studying
Yeah.
each one. Yeah, believe me, I did look at it.
I've looked at them for a while.
Do they get published then on the website?
Yes, you could put them on the website, absolutely.
Once we get
Absolutely.
to the top.
Put it on the website and they're attached to
Yeah.
the actual application too.
Okay, public comment period
Wait a
number,
minute, Gary.
ooh,
You got new business.
no, what other new business?
I have.
Resolution,
Yeah.
Gary has new business.
oh, it's not down here.
I would just like to have the Milford Township Supervisors send a congratulations to Kevin Mann, who is one of Milford's assistant chiefs. He has just been hired as a full-time firefighter in the city of Wilkes-Barre.
Wow, good for him.
Congratulations.
Sure, absolutely.
Gonna live up there then? Does he have to live up there?
Don't know,
I don't think you
Kevin, oh my God. He worked for us for DOT for years. Oh my God, good for him. Did you make a motion on that? I'll second it, all in favor? Aye, motion carries. Very good. Okay, public comment period number 2. Any other public comment? Rachel, from Milford Township.
Gary, when the work was done on Old Alico, which of the township's employees were handling that job? Just out
What do
of
you mean?
curiosity. You had said at a prior meeting that the township had worked with the water authority on the repairs on Old Alico.
what repairs you talking about?
I'm talking about the berm.
The berm.
We didn't do any berm work.
We haven't done any berm work out there, because I've been here and
We haven't done any berm work up there.
No, we've been concentrating on a few different roads. Fire Tower's giving us a little trouble because there's a 4-foot washout up there, and Moon Valley's been a little bit of a trouble. As Larry can tell you, we've had some water go down and want to enter garages and things because of these heavy rains.
Now, we did some work on the upper part of the Legal Turnpike where we dumped some fill that we had given to us to widen the road a little bit there.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
All the township employees were involved in that.
I was
All
there.
of the employees, okay.
Basically,
Yes.
and we seeded it down, raked it off as much as we could.
What we did-
That was all leftover fill from a house that was put back on 9th Street in the borough. They gave it to us, we figured that'd be a good place for it. We put some trees down over to help hold it up, we got a permit from Conservation to do it, and we did it. And it cost us a couple $100 for grass seed and labor.
Yeah, grass seed, I think it was $60. I got the cheap stuff.
Did it wash out in the rain this weekend?
No.
Or hold up?
There's one location up there that washed out.
Yeah, but that location that washed out was
Yeah,
a prior location.
That's a prior
that we
location
fixed.
that washed out.
Yeah, and it comes off that driveway across from there, it goes back up in to Pinchot's. You know, the one that, we cut that off, and now they had a pipe clog up. So what happened was we got double the amount of water. So we went back up and in there and informed them about their pipe, because there's usually a problem like that. And there was a pipe that wasn't catching a lot of the water up there, so now you're getting slammed down below. But actually, that's going to save lives, because that was about that far off the road, and it was a 10-foot drop, which really constitutes guardrail, to be honest with you. We didn't want to do that, because the expense of it.
If you notice, they raised that manhole up there on Friday.
Yeah, they did. And now if we could get them to do the one inside Pine Acres the same way, that'd be great. Thank you.
Anybody else under public comment? Yes, name?
Amy Eisenberg, Milford Township. With regards to the postponement of the public hearing and vote on the zoning amendment, do we have a timeline on that?
When we get our report back from Pike County Planning, we can't make anything until we hear from them.
Well, actually, no, when we
So
get
does
a
our
report from
planning-
our planning board.
And our planning committee.
Yeah.
After they meet.
Yeah, because it depends on if they wanted to change an ordinance from 1986, which I doubt they're going to want to do. So when we hear from them, because they'll be meeting with Pike County Planning,
Okay.
then we will make a date at that time, but not until such time.
Okay, did the Board of Supervisors officially vote on postponing that meeting? Do you have to make a motion and do that?
Actually, what happened was we got alerted by our solicitor we couldn't have the meeting because of the Pike County, and actually the vote, if you remember, was contingent on all that. Wasn't it, Mr. Solicitor?
Well, you probably should do it for the record anyway.
Yeah, we could do it. It doesn't really matter, but you're right. It's always contingent on Pike County
You can
Planning.
motion to postpone until
So
the meeting.
it's postponed indefinitely?
Absolutely not. It is not postponed indefinitely. As soon as we get it back from the Planning Commission, it comes right back up and it goes out for vote. If you just can't stop something in the middle and say, oops, I don't want to do this anymore, you already got the ball rolling. You you can vote no, and it's done.
Right.
Or you can vote yes, or whatever.
No, I
It
just,
it has to flow through from point A to point B, because it's already been
Process.
started.
for my personal understanding in
Okay.
terms of the process and
The
timeline.
process will be, well, I can't tell you the timeline, because I don't know when planning's gonna meet, when Mr. Seacrest
But
is
the,
gonna meet.
the public hearing needs to be advertised for how many
The
weeks
public
prior
hearing
to?
only has to be advertised 7 days before.
7 days.
Not more than 30 days before.
Okay,
So the public hearing will be advertised, okay, and they can't authorize an advertisement except at an open meeting. So it will be at their next meeting that they'll probably authorize the advertising. The plan, as I understand it, is that Mr. Seacrest is going to meet with Pike County Planning. The Planning Commission, I believe, meets on the, I don't want to give it to you.
Next Tuesday, right?
I would
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Uh,
I think it's important to most of us
August
in this room.
23rd is the next official Planning Commission meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Fourth Tuesday.
That's a Friday,
Yeah,
Fourth Tuesday.
27th.
27th, am I in the wrong month?
maybe,
Ah, see, it wasn't turned over. August 27th.
that's the official meeting, and then they have a workshop before that.
They do have a workshop before that, but they probably won't take action until the...
No, they won't take action there, but they might review it or whatever.
Right.
If he gets up there, they might review it to have it all ready to go for the 27th.
And then the current supervisors meeting is August 5th. The next supervisors meeting is the 19th.
Correct.
Is the Labor Day Monday meeting postponed to the 9th?
No,
Or does it
Tuesday.
stay on, it goes to Tuesday the
Goes to
3rd?
Tuesday.
Back a day.
Thank you.
Okay, and just make it official, make a motion that the meeting for August 19th be canceled due to...
The public hearing.
Yeah, the public hearing due to circumstances from the Pike County Planning. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Okay, any other public comment? No other public comment? Executive session, anybody? Make a motion to pay bills and adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.